Alright, so obviously the ask formula is blowing up recently. If you don't know, it's basically a way of surveying your list. They call it a survey funnel and that kind of stuff. So that, or it doesn't have to be a list, it can be new potential clients, surveying them to find out exactly what they need so you can serve them better essentially, and to segment them into buckets. A question that comes up quite a bit is the technical stuff behind this and how to implement it if you don't have like a survey, the funnel software they talk about in the book. This can easily be done with Gravity Forms, which can be installed on any WordPress site. It's pretty cheap, $39 for one site, I believe it is, and that'll allow you to do all kinds of things like build good contact forms and opt-in forms and stuff like that as well. But in this case, we'll just use it for the ask formula. You can accept, by default, it'll store everything in the database, but you can get an add-on for most of the big CRMs and autoresponders, like ActiveCampaign is the one we use. That there's some that aren't in here, like I don't think Infusionsoft is, but there's one in the WordPress plugin directory. If you just search Gravity Forms Infusionsoft, you'll get one. So that most of them are there. So I'll go ahead and show you how to build this out in Gravity Forms. So this is just one of our sites. I've already installed it, so I've also installed the ActiveCampaign add-on, which comes with the business license. So I forgot to say you will need the higher license if you need these add-ons. So I'm just going to create a new form. I've already built one of these, so I'm going to be copying and pasting most of the questions in, just to save a bit of time, so you don't have to sit here and watch. Whoops, I already did this, so I'm going to call it 2. Now, there's a few things kind of stay the same across different deep. This is the deep dive survey, which is part 1 of the ask formula. And now, so a couple of things stay the same, and the rest of it changes depending on your business and your target audience. So you're gonna have to read the book to find out all about it. But for now, I'll just show you the example that we've used in our business. So first up, we're gonna put in pagination. So we want to put each question on a different page. So we just click page to do that, and then we're going to open this thing. And this is where you set the progress bar across the top. So you can remove it if you like, but I like to keep it there. I just make it blue because that's our color. You can have page names, but we'll basically leave those blank for this. Now the first part is basically always paragraph text. I think I put that in the wrong spot. I did. And the title is usually something like, what is the biggest challenge in your business? This might change a little bit for you, but it's a totally open-ended question, and we make it required. So this is the key part of the deep dive survey. So that's it for the first page. And then basically everything between here and the last page is open to interpretation and what's going to work in your business. So I'm just going to show you a few of what we did in ours. They're all multiple choice except for one, I think. So we use radio buttons for that. And I'll just copy them all in when that loads. So which of the following best describes you? Now, when you're doing these radio choice ones, you can either enter them manually here and remove them here, or you can just go to bulk add predefined choices, which is how I'll copy them in from my other survey here. And again, it'll be required. So everything on this whole form is required except for one question right at the end, which we'll get to. So I'll add another page and another radio. And this one is, which is the following best describes your business. So in our case here, we were segmenting a list that was built up of all kinds of people in the SEO space. So we were looking for affiliate marketers, if they're just a digital info product business, physical product, local small business. we put in other. If you like, instead of putting other, you can actually tick this box here, which will enable them to enter their own thing if you want to open that up. Otherwise, you can just put other in as a choice here. Again, required. Next question, we're doing income, so I'll add another page and it will eventually load or not. Here we go, so chuck in another radio. And we're doing roughly how large is your business in gross sales per year. Copy and paste isn't great. And required. For the final page before the email details, we've gone for a single line open entry, which is what are your niche or market? What is your niche or market, so that we could segment, or so we could manually have a look and see what kind of people we've got on this list. And now for the final page, which is the only other real fixed portion of all of this. So we want to go to advanced fields, and then we want to throw in a name, an email, and a phone. And we want to make the name and the email required, but not the phone. And also with the phone, I'd recommend changing it to phone format international, because the validation can get a bit funny there. But remember, it's not required. So that is basically how to build the form. So there's a few more things we'll look at now, but that's the core form done, really. The other important bits are to go over to settings. I'll open form settings, confirmations, and notifications. So in the settings, you probably won't be changing anything, but if you want to prompt people with a bit of description, so in these questions, you can sort of help them out a bit and say, this is what you need to do with this question. By default, they're displayed below the actual text box, which is kind of silly in my opinion. So you just want to change that to above. But other than that, you're not really going to be changing much there. Confirmation, so this is what happens when they hit submit on the form. Actually, there is one thing you might want to change in form settings, which is the submit button text. So submit's pretty boring, right? They get to the end of the form and they're like, I don't know, it's just, everyone changes this to, like, oh, help me out or something, whatever you want to put there. So yeah, confirmations is what's displayed when they're finished filling out the form. So by default, it'll just hide the form and show them this message. So you could show them another message there if you like, or what Ryan suggests in the ask formula is to redirect, or you can use page as well if you have a thank you page, or redirect to the manual URL, where on that page you might have a video of you saying thank you and this is what the next steps are, with a bit of text and an upsell, maybe something like that. Totally up to you, not part of this video. So just know that you have to change that. And finally, notifications. So by default, Gravity Form will have this admin notification. So that'll send the admin of the website, which is set in WordPress settings, just to say, oh, you've got a new submission from this form. So if you want to delete that, you don't want to get a message every time that happens, you can hit delete. But if you want to email the person who submitted the form, you can add a new notification here and do the, you can select a field. So you can say send it to that customer's email from admin email. Not always recommended, because most web hosts sending bulk email, like sending email regularly like this, can cause some spam issues. You're much better off using your autoresponder to do this. So in this case, I would use ActiveCampaign instead. It's going to be different for each one. With the Gravity Forms official add-ons, they'll appear here. Some of them, like the Infusionsoft one, actually appears in this bar here. But generally the process is the same. You add a feed. I've already hooked this up to my ActiveCampaign account, which is under settings. So then I'll just say, formula feed. It doesn't matter at all. It's just an internal thing. You select the list that you want to add them to in ActiveCampaign. Once you do that, it'll talk to ActiveCampaign, pull back this list. So you just want to map the fields in, so email, first, last. If you want to map in any of those other, like if you had some custom fields here that were like income or something, you could actually map your income answer into that field if you like, and then put a tag on it, which we'll use to trigger an automation, which might be something like lead deep dive survey. Whoops, depth dive. Whatever your tag is, and you're pretty much right to just leave it as it is. You could add some tags here too about if you were segmenting them into, how we had affiliate marketers, digital businesses, physical product. You could actually put these as tags. You could do like a conditional tag. If they entered affiliate marketer, then add an affiliate marketing tag, etc. That's it for the form itself. So the next step will be to add this to a page. So I'm just going to go to add page. And we'll call it whatever. Can you help me out with this? You could put in a video and some text here if you like. The same if you've got a landing page builder like Thrive that we use, or something, Optimized Press, whatever. You just add your form. In this case, Ask Formula 2. I usually turn those two off. And publish. So if we view that, my hosting is not being very nice today. But yeah, there we go. We've got a basic Ask Formula form ready to go. I'd probably remove the sidebar on this. Normally I do. It depends on your theme. I mean, our settings for that are somewhere down here. I really gotta change theme because I don't like this one. But so we just go full width or no sidebar. So you'd remove that. So there's no distractions, and it enables them to step through. I'll just go through this quickly. I don't know why that jumps down. There's a problem that I've got to fix. And the reason we didn't make phone required is that what the Ask Formula says is that if someone gives you their phone, then they're going to be, pretty, I can't remember what the word is, hyperactive, probably not hyperactive, hyper something client. So they're more likely to be a good client if they're leaving a phone number. It means they actually want help with this kind of stuff. So the way it works is we multiply the initial question, that open-ended question we asked at the start, how long that is, so it might be 100 characters worth of text they put in there, and if they give a phone number, then we times it by 1.5. There's a couple of ways to do that, which I'll show you very shortly. So there we go. So what you do here is, obviously that default message is quite rubbish, so we'd redirect to a thank you page with a video or something like that on it. So you don't have to build this form. What I'll actually do is put a link below that will allow you to import the form directly. And the way you'll do that is in Gravity Forms on the side here, you can go to Import Export. You go to Import Forms. Select file, and the file that I give you will be in there. So you'll just be able to suck it right in. And while we're on this screen, I'll show you how to get the entries out. So once you've had this running for a while, you've directed your list at it or directed some ads at it or whatever you're doing, you come to export entries, you pick the form, what we want to export, which I'm just going to tick some of the first few because we don't really want all this other crap that the form thingy adds. So that's it, and then we'll go download export file. Now this is going to be a pretty rubbish one because we've only got the one line item in there. So what I'm going to do is populate this with some sample data and pause the video. But first, I will open this in Google Sheets because that's what most people are going to be using, I believe. Alright, so once we're in the Google Sheet, we're going to go File, Import. We're going to upload and then throw that CSV in, which has gone and disappeared on me. For some reason, replace spreadsheet isn't working for me at the moment, so I'm just going to go to create new. And open now once it's done. So now we're in Google Sheets, and now I'm going to populate this with some dummy data. Okay, so what I've done here is I've pulled the actual single biggest question answers from another survey that we did, but I've just copied and pasted my dummy data here because, obviously don't want to show people's emails and stuff. And I filled the phone down and just kind of put it in some random cells. So the first thing we're going to do is add a score column, a rank, and a top 20%. So in score, pretty simple. The way this works is it is the length of this first column multiplied by, if they gave a phone number, 1.5. Otherwise we just leave it as the length of that because of what we talked about before. Formula is quite simple, so it's going to be the length of A2 times if the length of, that's wrong, L1, so the phone number, sorry, L2, if the length of that is 0, which means they didn't put it in, it's 1, otherwise it's 1.5, and then we multiplied that by the length of the first one. Oops. Fill that down. Oops. For rank, we're going to try and identify that, we'll do the maths on this first so that we can identify the top 20%, and we do that with the formula percent rank function, I should say, not the formula. And that's going to be of all the scores as the range, and we're going to see what this value sits inside of that. Now you will need to add a $sign before the 2 and the 56. And we'll also fill that down. Why are you doing this to me? And to work out if they're the top 20%, we're just going to say if this is greater than 0.8, so greater than 80%, then we'll say yes, otherwise blank. Fill that down again. So everyone with yes is now your best, I guess the best responses, the ones you want to pay the most attention to. So what we can do now is go to data. I mean, you didn't necessarily have to do that. What you could just do is sort by rank and then you get the best ones to the top. So maybe I'll do that. I'll go sort by column N, Z to A because we want the biggest ones first. So there you go. So now we've scored. Sorry, we've ordered. Well, actually, yeah, you could have ordered by score as well, just to see the top. But this will actually tell you which ones are the top 20%, which are the ones you want to pay the most attention to. So from here, I mean, you want to listen or read to the book to work out what you're meant to do with these responses. The next step is to work out the buckets of your list, so where the sort of prime locations you will segment your list into. So that's it for implementing the Ask Formula Deep Dive Survey in Gravity Forms. So again, I'll put the link below so that you can download this form export file so that you can just import it directly into your Gravity Forms install, and then you don't need to mess around with all the fields and stuff. I mean, you should still go through and make sure that these questions are relevant to your business. I mean, obviously there's not much point in you asking people if they're an affiliate marketer if you have nothing to do with affiliate marketers. Yeah, so hit the link below and good luck. And hit me up if you have any questions or comments. Oh, and I did forget, I might put up another small video on how to actually calculate the score as part of this form. It does require a little bit of code. You pretty much just have to copy and paste it in, but I guess it's that one next level that is probably just not really worth doing if you're not technical, because it's not exactly hard to calculate the score in a spreadsheet like this by entering one formula. So it is possible, and I might make another small video on that, so the link will be below for that as well.